Hello and welcome to Quiz Class. I'm your host, Ellen, and today we have 100 questions on the history of the English language. So let's begin. What language is the word Absurdistan derived from? Czech, Georgian, or Estonian? Czech. What film did this common English phrase come from? Elementary, my dear Watson. The Return of Sherlock Holmes, The Day of Sherlock Holmes, or The Nose of Sherlock Holmes? The Return of Sherlock Holmes. What did the word nice previously mean? Coy, unknowable, reserved, cagey, or silly, foolish, simple? Silly, foolish, simple. Which movie did the slang toast, meaning dead or finished or doomed, originate from? Ghostbusters, E.T. the Extraterrestrial, or Indiana Jones and the Raiders of the Lost Ark? Ghostbusters. Which is the correct original spelling for night? A, B, or C? C is the answer with the E at the end. Which poet invented the word pandemonium in Paradise Lost? William Wordsworth, William Blake, or John Milton? John Milton. What activity introduced the idiom barking up the wrong tree? Hunters using dogs, ox handlers running off the track, or mule breeders using the wrong stud jack? Hunters using dogs to find raccoons at night. Which Jane Austen novel introduced the British English word sympathizer? Emma, Sense and Sensibility, or Mansfield Park? Emma. What does the acronym SCUBA stand for? A, B, or C? Self-contained underwater breathing apparatus. Which J.R.R. Tolkien book introduced the English word tween? The Hobbit, The Fellowship of the Ring, or The Silmarillion? The Hobbit. In which decade did the columnist Herb Caen invent the word beatnik? The 30s, the 40s, or the 50s? The 1950s. Which fictional Geoffrey Chaucer character is the word pander named after? Pandare, Pandora, or Pandiro? Pandare. What is the correct definition of the term allots? Save or scrimped, multiply or cultivate, give or apportion? A lot. A lot. Give or apportion. That's pronounced a lot. Which English word was adopted to become the German word shooting? Gun range, photo shoot, or pathologist office? Photo shoot. What language is the word bluff derived from? Flemish, Dutch, or Danish? Dutch. What film did the common English phrase "my bad" come from? Clueless, Empire Records, or Pretty in Pink? Clueless. What did the word fathom previously mean? To scope with one's arms, to encircle with one's arms, or to lift with one's arms? To encircle with one's arms. Where did the slang yippee-ki-yay originate from? Die Hard, World War II GI soldiers, or 19th century Western US? 19th century Western US. Which is the correct original spelling for ghost, A, B, or C? G-O-S-T is the original spelling. Which poet introduced chortle in the poem Jabberwocky? Lord Byron, Hans Christian Andersen, or Lewis Carroll? Lewis Carroll. What circumstances introduced the idiom mad as a hatter? Mercury poisoning in hat makers and fur industry workers. Which writer introduced the term quark, later borrowed for use in physics? James Joyce, Samuel Beckett, or Oscar Wilde? James Joyce. What does the acronym YOLO stand for? You ought to live once, you originally live once, or you only live once? You only live once. Which writer created the term Butterfingers? Charles Dickens, Victor Hugo, or Edgar Allan Poe? Charles Dickens. In which century was the word mondegreen made popular? The 19th, the 20th, or the 21st? The 21st century. Which artistic medium does the term male gaze, coined in 1975, refer to? Film, literature, or journalism? Film. What is the correct definition of the term minuscule? Extremely small, undermined, left, or indeterminate or unremarkable? Extremely small or tiny. Which English word was adopted to become the Spanish word autostop? Park brake, hitchhiking, or artificial intelligence? Hitchhiking. What language is the word broccoli derived from? Italian, Spanish, or French? Italian. What film did the common English term gaslighting come from? Gaslighting, gaslight, or gassing? Gaslight. What quantity did the word myriad previously account for? 1,000, 10,000, or 100,000? 10,000. Where did the slang MILF originate from? American Pie, 10 Things I Hate About You, or She's All That? American Pie. Which is the correct original spelling for nickname? A, B, or C? Ekename. Which writer coined nerd in the 1950 children's book? C.S. Lewis, Dr. Seuss, or Enid Blyton? Dr. Seuss. What activity introduced the idiom break the ice? Smaller boats clearing through ice formations for trade ships. Which language did Richard Dawkins modify to introduce the term meme in 1976? Greek, Turkish, or Russian? Greek. What does the acronym ZIP stand for? Zone Improvement Plan, Zone Identification Plan, or Zone Inclusion Plan? Zone Improvement Plan. What hat name was introduced in Georges du Maurier's book Trilby? Trilby, cloche, or fedora? Trilby. In which decade was the phrase apple knocker made popular? The 1910s, 1920s, or 1930s? The 1920s. Which fictional Eleanor Porter character is the term Pollyanna named after? Pollyanna, Eloise, or Madeline? Pollyanna. What is the correct definition of the term a verse? Having a strong feeling of opposition and antipathy or repugnance. Which English word was adopted to become the Romanian word locatie? Lunacy, redundancy, or tenancy? Tenancy. What language is the word behemoth derived from? Swedish, Hebrew, or Armenian? Hebrew. What film did the word Twitter patted come from? Pocahontas, Bambi, or The Little Mermaid? Bambi. What did the word flirt previously mean? Finding a lost needle, flicking something away or open, or fearing a negative reputation? Flicking something away or open. Where did the cowabunga slang originate from? The Flintstones, Howdy Doody, or Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles? Howdy Doody. Which is the correct original spelling for adder? Nadder. In which medium did writer Karel Čapek coin the word robot? Play, an essay, or a novella? A play. What practice introduced the idiom butter someone up? A gift of fresh bread on Christmas morning, a customary religious act in ancient India, or a farmyard blessing for harvest? A customary religious act in ancient India. What was the term blockbuster named after? Cinema film, line around the block, or an aerial bomb? An aerial bomb. What does the acronym AIDS stand for? Acquired immune dysfunction syndrome, acquired immune deficiency syndrome, or acquired immune degradation syndrome? Acquired immune deficiency syndrome. Which U.S. writer introduced the term hard-boiled in 1886? William Faulkner, Herman Melville, or Mark Twain? Mark Twain. In which century was the phrase Man Friday made popular by Daniel Defoe? The 17th, 18th, or 19th century? The 18th century. What is the correct definition of the word belly? To contradict or give a false impression of. Which English word was adopted to become the Italian word scipione? Chaperone, shopaholic, or shampoo? Shopaholic. What language is the word cashmere derived from? Yiddish, Sanskrit, or Mongolian? Sanskrit. Question 57. What film did the English word supercalifragilisticexpialidocious come from? Mary Poppins, The Sound of Music, or Singin' in the Rain? Mary Poppins. What term was popularized in the 21st century to denote access restrictions to subscriber digital media? Blacklist, paywall, or docs? Paywall. What did the word meat previously refer to? All food, all seafood, or all grains? All food. Where did the slang mind meld originate from? Star Wars, Star Trek, or Stargate? Star Trek. What is the correct original spelling for through? Thurh. Which poet introduced the English term Odyssey? Homer, Plato, or Virgil? Homer. What law introduced the idiom caught red-handed? Punishment for animal theft if caught with the animal's blood on one's hands. Which character in Richard Brinsley Sheridan's play, The Rivals, introduced the word malapropism? Malapropism. Mrs. Malaprop, Mrs. Malapropi, or Maiden Malapropo? Mrs. Malaprop is the answer. What field does the acronym ABBA come from? Finance, music, or architecture? Music. Which writer introduced the word frustrating into a novel in the novel Middlemarch? Louisa May Alcott, George Eliot, or L.M. Montgomery? George Eliot. Which computer symbol was a shorthand for something trending on social media in the 2010s? We have that hashtag symbol. What fictional Jonathan Swift characters is the term Yahoo named after? The Yahooies, the Yahoos, or the Yahoobies? The Yahoos. What is the correct definition of the term imply? To imply. A suggestion intended by the person speaking. Which English word was adopted to become the Hungarian word says, I believe that's the way you pronounce it? Distress, jazz, or fondness? Jazz. What language is the word batik derived from? Cambodian, Indonesian, Javanese, or Malaysian? Javanese, Indonesia. What film did the English professional term paparazzo come from? The Godfather, La Dolce Vita, or Roman Holiday? La Dolce Vita. What did the word bully previously mean? Sweetheart, darling, protege, accomplice, or relative, confident? Sweetheart and darling. Where did the slang jumping the shark originate from? The Brady Bunch, Happy Days, or Mork and Mindy? Happy Days. Which is the correct original spelling for plow? Plow. Ploh. Which language does the word Ada refer to? Surgery, botany, or programming? Programming. What practice introduced the idiom give a cold shoulder? Recovering food after a powerful failure, giving an unwelcome guest cold meat, or shrugging one's coat on in a blizzard? Giving an unwelcome guest cold meat. What did Rudyard Kipling's term, totalitarian, refer to? The failure to stop Hitler, prohibition on the land, or rum running by mob bosses? Prohibition on the land. What does the acronym AWOL stand for? Away without leave, absent without leave, or arraigned without leave? Absent without leave. We are on question 80. Which George Orwell novel introduced the term doublethink? Animal Farm, 1984, or Burmese Days? (1984). In which century was the word utopia introduced? The 15th, the 16th, or the 17th century? The 16th century. What isn't the correct definition of the term palate? What isn't the correct definition? A reusable box for family heirlooms. Which English word was adopted to become the Japanese word amefuto? American photo booth, American football, or American food? American football. What language is the word tweed derived from? Scottish, Irish, or Welsh? Scottish. What film did this common English phrase come from? Hardy har har, The Honeymooners, The Lovebirds, or The Hotheads? The honeymooners. What did the word buxom previously mean? Marked by vows of poverty, marked by obedience, or marked by slavery? Marked by obedience. Where did the slang "hasta la vista, baby" originate from? The Terminator, Terminator 2, or Terminator 3? Terminator 2, Judgment Day. What is the correct original spelling for autumn? Autumnpne. In which medium did writer William Gibson coin the phrase cyberspace? Screenplay, a short story, or a musical? A short story. Question 90. What law introduced the idiom "read the riot act"? The authority to label any group of more than 12 people a threat to the peace. Which writer introduced Banana Republic in the 1904 short story collection Cabbages and Kings? Henry James, Sidney Porter, or Washington Irving? Sidney Porter. What does the acronym SWAT stand for? Special Weapons and Tactics, Secret Weapons and Tactics, or Strong Weapons and Tactics? Special Weapons and Tactics. What book did the English word freelance come from? Walden, Ivanhoe, or Persuasion? Ivanhoe. In which century was the phrase catch-22 made popular? The 19th, the 20th, or the 21st? The 20th century. Which writer's work was the review where book critic Donald Gordon debuted the term whodunit in 1930? C.H.B. Kitchen, Millward Kennedy, or H.C. Bailey? Millward Kennedy. What is the term free running introduced in 2003, also known as in 21st century language? Parkour, breakdance, or slackline? Parkour. From which novel was the word Quixotic derived? Dante's Inferno, Don Quixote de la Mancha, or The Count of Monte Cristo? Don Quixote de la Mancha. What language is the word assassin derived from? Turkish, Arabic, or Persian? Persian. What film did this English phrase come from? Red Pill and Blue Pill, Fight Club, The Matrix, or American Psycho? The Matrix. Question 100. What was the rejected name for the geological epoch characterized by human impact on Earth's climate and ecosystems? Anthropocene, Catastrophocene, or Epochocene? Anthropocene. 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 What blood-sucking being does the Romanian word Nosferatu translate to in English? Thanks for playing this quiz. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that like button. We will see you next time. Bye-bye.